filling in for us tonight, and she's sick on top of it all. So I really appreciate her being here with us this evening, even though she'd probably rather be at home today. You take just a moment and pray with me this evening. Most gracious and loving God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be pleasable and accepting in your sight. O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
Well, the text we read this evening is nothing new. It's something we do every year. And I wondered, as I was reading over the text this last week, how many of you have a memory associated with this text in Christmas? Anybody? I have a confession to make. I have one. I knew whenever we read the Luke text in church, that meant we were soon home. And I'm a preacher's kid, so we would normally have gone to 2 or 3 services on Christmas Eve. And when we got to go home on Christmas Eve, that meant we got to open a gift if we had been well-behaved. And sometimes it was at this point in the evening that we got the dirty look from my mom to sit up and behave. Memories are something that we make throughout the year, but especially at Christmas. It's fun to think of the memories that you've made as children, those you've watched perhaps in your neighbors, your friends, your own children, or perhaps once you become grandparents. See, holiday times are full of memories. Sometimes you can't remember things that others do. And sometimes they tell those embarrassing stories on you. Just like my parents always remind me every Christmas morning that they always enjoyed hearing what I had to say as a toddler, because it was never, look what Santa brought. It was, hey Mom, the weather's going to be this. You better get on the road early. I was born in early. I have no recollection at all of my childhood other than being excited on Christmas morning that Santa had come, that church services were over and we'd soon get to see relatives. But like I said, others create memories for us. And sometimes we don't realize we remember something until we walk into a room and smell candles. Or perhaps we smell a dish that was made so long ago in our family that it takes us back. Takes us back to places that bring sometimes happy thoughts, happy memories, and others that may not be as happy. And as I was reading through the text, I wondered what Mary must have experienced, what smells were brought her way on that journey. As I was teasing with the kids as we walked back and forth, Mary and Joseph did travel 84 miles on the back of the donkey. I imagine that riding a donkey for that long brought some nasty smells with it. And I'm sure that Mary herself probably did not smell that great when she got off the donkey. And she had no place to take a shower or a bath, other than probably something left out in the stall with the other animals to use. Nothing that probably smelled or tasted good. There was no comfort waiting for her. And I sometimes wonder what Mary was thinking. We know that she was open to receiving God's gift for the world, but I still think that there were times that Mary probably on the journey said, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to go to a place where I'm not going to necessarily have pleasant memories? Perhaps then later in life, when Jesus was older, she even would come across a donkey or would pass a stable and smell things that took her back to that place. And I sometimes even wonder for Mary in her life how it was in the nativity story according to the Gospel of Luke, with everything going on around her, with all the smells and sights to see, with all the possible memories to make, that she had the power and wisdom and ability to stop and to look at what was going on around her, take it all in, and make the conscious decision to hold it in her heart and to see where God was at work in the world. And so every year at Christmas, when I read this text, although it does remind me of my childhood and the anxiousness it brought to get to go home, it's also an invitation to all of us this evening that Mary extends every year through her words to take these things and put them in our hearts and think about them about where it is that God is at work in our world, in our own lives. And then to be so bold like the shepherds, to go forth and proclaim the good news in all the things that we do. I pray that it may be so for you and for me. Amen.
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 And now we will celebrate Holy Communion. And if you'd like to follow along with me, that's going to be on page 13 in the hymnal.